I've had so many moments where it's like one step forward, five back, one forward, 10 back, and you're like, entrepreneurship, I don't know about this. That 9 to 5 sounds pretty good. So, one of the biggest things that I have endured, and this was actually semi recently, was I was growing so quickly with the individuals that work with me. Well, one thing that happened was I got a little too confident for my britches. And what I failed to do was ensure that I had a very strong foundation. And if you have a shaky foundation, whether that is with finances or if that is the overall setup of your business itself. So, kind of talking about the could be the ecosystem of it. Maybe
Mhm.
you have too many flaws, or potentially the architecture of it. So, or my personal favorite is if I don't have a backup plan, if something goes wrong, well, I take advantage of what they call a PACE plan.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host Leo Wedekin, and today I am joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Tevin, who's been making serious moves in the real estate industry. Tevin, glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation, Leo. Happy to be here.
Very, hey, I'm very happy, excited to have this chat. Tevin, I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you've been um, approaching the real estate business nowadays. Okay, uh, let's dive in. Okay, so first of all, for people that are not familiar with your world, all right, can you give us a short version on what's your main focus these days?
Of course. So, in the real estate sector, my primary focus right now is I'm actually a licensed real estate broker here in the state of Florida. And so, I have been working heavily on the whole development of different kinds of brokerage concepts with a lot of AI integration to just kind of further enhance the overall effectiveness of real estate and how it all is transacted.
All right, all right. And in what markets are you operating in?
Great question. So, I'm actually I love working the whole state of Florida. It's really cool, but my primary bread and butter is right between Pensacola, Florida, and Panama City Beach, Florida. So right up in the Panhandle area. I love
Okay.
it, by the way. It's gorgeous out here.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah,
Now, Tevan, something that really caught my attention is how you've been able to grow, to keep your company growing, okay? And how you've been incorporating new tools such as AI. automation into your company. Can you tell us how you've been able to handle everything and keep growing at the same time?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Absolutely. So we all know about AI. We've all heard of ChatGPT and all these other different kinds of concepts out there where you can go ahead and put in data and it ingests it. And then it
Okay.
goes ahead and pretty much formulates an answer. It thinks for you. Well, the biggest thing that I was kind of questioning at one point was, okay, so if everybody's using AI and they're coming up and producing so many different answers for all of their real world problems, regardless of what they may be, I thought, okay, well, how can I go ahead and use that, but in real estate? And so what I figured out is there's a lot of tools out there that can go ahead and cut down on a lot of your time. And for me, and I imagine this is like this for a lot of other people too, but we do a lot of things. We're all busy. We've got jobs, we've got family, we've got friends, we've got bosses that we have to go ahead and make sure we perform for. And so I think to myself, and yes, entrepreneurs as well. We work for ourselves, but at the same time, we're also working for the people that we are working with, which are, some of our employees. But
Exactly correct.
yeah, and so with that being said, I started integrating different kinds of tools. So, for example, GHL, Go High Level, an amazing product. Oh my goodness, that has sliced down my time tenfold. I swear to you, Leo. Like this is absolutely incredible. Just by the level of automations that you can get with that tool is just crazy. And no, I'm not an affiliate with them, but I'm just saying, like, they got some good things going on.
Okay.
But also, there are different kinds of AI bots and other tools that I have gone ahead and started to use, but also made that as a part of my SOPs for all new agents that are onboarding into the program to help them out as well. But
Wow.
overall, I'd say that's really how it's kind of affected me in a
Okay.
positive.
Okay. And besides, something that also caught my attention, it's how you've been able to, well, you're a licensed real estate broker in the state of Florida, right? But you told me also that you like to do coaching practices. You're a speaker and you also do consultations. Am I right?
I do. Yes, you're
So
absolutely right.
why don't you tell the audience, what Devon, does besides being a licensed real estate broker? Your other faces, where actually you integrate everything that you do, all right, with being a licensed real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of want to bring it back a little bit and tell you a little bit more about me so that way, there's not too much shrouded mystery. And I hope I kind of
Okay,
answer
man.
some questions along the way. But I come from the state of New Hampshire. That's actually where I was born
Okay.
and I grew up. And so what I ended up doing over time was when I was a young teenager, probably about 13 years old, I ended up making a decision for myself that I was here on earth to go ahead and serve people, to go ahead and just make life better for not just myself, but for others that are around me. And something just really struck a chord with me when I was younger. And so growing up, I eventually joined the military. I've actually been active duty military for well over 10 years now at this point. And along the way, I picked up real estate. And so when got into real estate, I was just doing it kind of for myself. I started off with like investing. So I purchased a house to go ahead and just simply purchase because I ain't gonna lie, I had no idea how to buy a house. I Googled it, I YouTubed it, I looked up everything. I was like, so how does one buy a house? You know, like that was me on a keyboard. And so once I had it for a little while, I was like, well, how do I sell it?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So then I went back to that agent. I was like, hey, can you go ahead and help me sell this? And then along the way, what I was doing in the background was taking notes on absolutely everything that that agent was doing. I was
Okay.
just an absolute sponge. I was like, I want to know every single process of this so that way I can go ahead and replicate it. So after that, I got into a little bit of the taste and the kick of a flip, a property flip.
Okay.
So then
Fix
I
and
did
flip.
that and I liked it. I was like, I like that. That was cool. And so when I did the property flip, I realized just how much can truly be made from it. And I was like, well, how cool would it be if I had my friends go ahead and do this? And then I recalled that time back when I was an early teenager. I was like, huh, I could definitely serve other people by teaching them how to go ahead and feed their families. I was like, "This is cool." So then I went and did that. I showed a friend how to do it. I walked them through everything, the buying process. Then I taught them how to flip it, what they needed to do, speak to the contractors, work out the permits. And then there were just so many other pieces to the puzzle that they were lost in, but I had the knowledge of. And then they sold it and they made money. And I was like, "Oh,
How cool
that
is
was
that?
cool." Exactly, and I was like, "I gotta do this for more people. How do I do that?" So, I eventually got stationed down here in Florida, and when I got stationed down here, I ended up finally getting my real estate license. So, everything I was doing prior to having my actual license, it was all very legal because I was still using all the licensed individuals, that were necessary during different facets of the transaction, and
Hmm.
so, when I got over to here, I did that, and then I was like, I kind of want to own my own brokerage. But I wasn't a broker yet. So then I went back to the good old Google. I was like, how does one own a brokerage if they're not a broker? And so I learned all the
Yeah,
processes.
there
Yeah.
was a time where we used to Google for everything.
Right?
Now everything is Chat GPT. Everything.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And so I ended up opening up my own brokerage and I had a broker of record that was, in the background administratively. So I was still running the day-to-day operations. Everything was really how I wanted to run it. It's just anything that needed the legal push or the final verification of everything to track all of those things would go by him. So that way he approves it, final stamp of approval. Well, I eventually tested for the broker license. So that was the real estate side. And all the while, when I was doing that, I was getting into very, very creative real estate transactions too. But before we dive too far into like the real estate stuff too, I ended up opening a practice for coaching. And the coaching isn't
Okay.
just real estate specific. It's actually more generalized. So I ended up getting internationally certified as a coach. And so if you have different kinds of things that you're just working through, if that's, just a personal thing or you're working through with business, or you have a leadership summit, or you need a workshop produced, those are all things that I can go ahead and provide. I'm actually recently, I have been certified via the John Maxwell team. So
Hmm.
I am a certified member, and I'm working
Okay.
on different kinds of consultation practice additives as far as my services go. And so, yeah, it just kind of started all really piecing together, and it's just been amazing. So I offer coaching, real estate consulting, um, and so yeah, I hope that I know that was a long way to go ahead and
Nice.
respond, but I want to make sure you have the whole picture.
Nice. No, no, no. Yeah. And
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And that was actually perfect. 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 Now, Tevin, what's been the key to keeping all of that business running smoothly? Because I know that's not an easy task to do. So can you tell us
Ah,
how you've been able to manage yourself, and your time to do all
yes.
those type of things, and at the same time keep on growing? So what's the key to your success?
Ah, I would say that there's a couple of things. One, God. There is
Okay.
no way that I could do everything that I do without him. I'm telling you right now. I tried it, been there, done that, didn't go well without him, kind of thing. So there's definitely that aspect to it. And then secondarily is people. I used to try to live by the philosophy of being a one man army, a one man show. I thought that I could handle all of it. You can call it ego, you could call it overconfidence, you could call it arrogance. There are so many different words that you could use, but whatever it was, I thought I could do it. Well, when I realized that I just had so much going on, I needed to go ahead and incorporate other people into it. So I found other individuals that were like me. And then I really thought about it and I was like, well, you know what? If I want to go ahead and get to a certain goal, whether that be physically, spiritually, monetarily, then I need to go ahead and align myself with other people of like mind. So I started entering into different kinds of groups. So there were men's groups that I was partaking in. There were different kinds of nonprofit organizations, a lot of different kinds of volunteerism. I actually founded a nonprofit organization. There were so many other things that I started doing. I started partaking in local chambers of commerce meetings, and then I started traveling around to partake in conferences and all these other things. So by doing that, though, it sounds cool. You're like, okay, Tevin, like that's great that you're doing all that, but why? Well, the why is because that's where all the other people that think like me are located. And if I'm not around those people, I'm not getting challenged. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And I'm not always the smartest person in the room. And like by no means. But by doing this and positioning myself in such a way, I've been able to really lean on other people to challenge me. And then not just that right there, working on my circle and my inner people, if you will. But the other thing that I've been doing is finding other individuals who not work for me, but they honestly work with me. And by
Exactly.
these amazing, amazing people working with me, oh my goodness, there is so much talent out there. You may think at some point that you know it all or you've got, the answer for everything. Again, I've been there. I thought those things at one point, but there are other people that are sometimes better than us and they want to work with us. And so that's honestly the some of the biggest keys to my success and how I've been growing so exponentially lately. And even though there's been a considerable lull in a lot of parts of the economy, I would say that there is still a lot of opportunities out there for a lot of people. And so if you can get around these amplifiers of life, then I highly recommend.
All right. Cool. Cool. Now, Tevin, I know that every operator has a moment where things got real. Okay, maybe a deal that went sideways or a time that they had to pivot really fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments?
I'm happy to. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I've had so many moments where it's like one step forward, five back, one forward, 10 back. And you're like, entrepreneurship, I don't know about this. That 9 to 5 sounds pretty good. So, one of the biggest things that I have endured, and this was actually semi recently, was I was growing so quickly with the individuals that work with me. Well, one thing that happened was I got a little too confident for my britches. And what I failed to do was ensure that I had a very strong foundation. And if you have a shaky foundation, whether that is with finances or if that is the overall setup of your business itself. So, kind of talking about could be the ecosystem of it. Maybe
Mhm.
you have too many flaws, or potentially the architecture of it. So, or my personal favorite is if I don't have a backup plan, if something goes wrong, well, I take advantage of what they call a PACE plan. And for those of you who don't know what a PACE plan is, a PACE plan is a derivative of an idea from the military. At least this is how that I ended up getting this knowledge. But it stands for primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. So when I go and do things, I try to do them very deliberately. I think of second and third order of effects before I make a decision. And I also keep in mind my pace plan. So if my goal is, say, I want to go ahead and make $250,000 this year, that's my primary plan. It's a financial
Okay.
plan. So I need to think about ways to get there. And so I know my goal. I have $250,000 that I wish to go ahead and make. Well, I need to set up my primary plan. So if my primary plan states that I'm going to work 150 transactions before year's end, calendar year, then I'm going to be able to meet my goal. If I can go ahead and close those transactions. Well, it's like, okay, well, what if I can't close 150 transactions? What's my alternate plan? And then I work through sequentially, of course. And I have my secondary, and then my third, which is the C, and then the fourth, which is the E. Well, what I failed to do was I let go of my philosophy of the PACE plan, and I only had a primary plan. My primary plan was to lean on my best people. And
Okay.
unfortunately, bless his soul and his spirit, he ended up passing away.
Sorry
And
to
so when
hear
that
that.
happened, no, I definitely appreciate that. It was a tough time for his family as well as our family over here. Um, and unfortunately, I had all of my eggs in one basket. He was my go-to. He was so important to absolutely everything that when he was gone, I didn't know what to do. I fell behind. I started realizing that a lot of transactions and a lot of different things that were going on were all due to him and I having really awesome deals together and us just
Exactly.
working the heck out of them. And so when that key player right there was no longer here, I again didn't have my alternate plan. So had I had my ultimate plan, then I could have prepared better. So instead, what I ended up having to do was dip into other reserves, which I shouldn't have had to have done. But it's a failure on my part as a leader. And that's the biggest thing as a leader is that people, even though you work with them, they're still going to look up to you.
Exactly. Yes.
And if you don't have a lot of the framework in place to go ahead and deal with things, then you're setting everyone up for failure. And so luckily I had an actual SOP for in standard operating procedure of what I would do in the event of certain things happening. And so I didn't plan it thoroughly. I didn't plan if that person was gone. I planned if you know, or what I would do for their family. So it was a very bizarre situation. And, I was trying to swiftly recover from it. And then I experienced growth somewhere else. And then I fell off, the whole path of, I think, all of my base plans all set up and all my SOPs because I got flustered. And so what I realized was, a couple other things. And, I looked internally, I was like, wow, you need to calm down. It's okay. Things happen. Life happens. What are we going to do about it? And so then I got very, very particular with how I started making my approach to the other things that I was doing. I took out a journal and I would start journaling. I would talk about
Okay.
the failures, but also the successes that I would have. And I did that on a weekly basis. And so I also incorporated doing AARs into everything that I do. And AAR is an after action report. So, say for example, I was working a really big project and it was maybe a deliverable for a client, and which I did have one. There was a very, very large one that I had going on as far as this the whole idea of projects go. And after that was delivered, I went through and I wrote down three sustains and three improvements. I was like, okay, execution sustained. The execution of this was exact, and I just went on about it. And then
Okay.
so for some of the other ones on the other list, I was like, okay, so improves. I need to work on the uh, we could say expeditious nature of my delivery. Maybe it took too long. So those were things that I started to relook at and reincorporate into everything that I was doing so as to just remain more effective in my approach. So
All right, man. That's actually the kind of stuff that people, don't talk about enough. And
yeah.
honestly, for myself, I think that's what separates the folks who just dabble from the ones who stay in the game long term, you know? So,
Yes.
Tevin, let me ask you this real quick. What are you most focused on solving or scale? What are you most focused on? Solving or scaling next?
Mm, that's a really good question. I'll be honest and say scaling at this point. Because after all those hits that I've been taking over the years, I've been quietly in the background accumulating a book of SOPs. And these SOPs, if I have a problem, I literally look at the binder and I flip over to the page. I'm like, oh, if this is an issue with finances, let's go over to finances. What did I have for SOPs in regards to finances? Oh, standard operating procedure over here. So if I'm running low on funds, what is my procedure like? What do I go ahead and do? Do I look at a different kind of bank account over here? One that I pre-designated that I would withdraw emergency funds from, so on and so forth. So I don't think that at this point I need to continue solving because a lot of the common issues that I already face, as well as the services I provide, are now in existence. You know,
Okay.
the the problems are already, solvable at this point. So it's not, trying to figure out like, okay, what do I need to do in order to actually go about repairing this issue or so on and so forth. But scaling.
Okay, good, good. That's big. Now, I know that a lot of people are either earlier in their journey or looking to level up. Okay, and I think they will benefit from hearing this. When it comes about building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you?
Mm, I love that question. And I think that this one is sometimes missed by a lot of people, but be genuine and authentic.
Correct.
Be
You can fake that.
yourself. Yeah, you can't fake it. People will
Yeah,
see that from a mile away.
correct.
And
Correct.
it's like when I meet somebody, I really am being genuine. People say I smile a lot, but it's because I'm literally happy. I'm happy to
Ex-
see you. Hey, my name is Tevin. I'm your friend.
Correct.
Like this stuff is so real. And so when building these relationships, I found in the past, building a relationship isn't, just trying to get something out of somebody. That's not it. That's not the answer. How can you go ahead and provide value to this person? How can you make their life better? Because I'll tell you what, if you can go ahead and make someone else's life a lot better, yeah, you might have the one off where it's like they'll just take whatever you give, but the majority of the time I would say that it will find its way to be reciprocated. Some people call it karma.
Correct.
And so my biggest key to, building relationships is really uh being genuine, getting to know the person, not trying to get to know their bank account. That's that's just not it. A lot of people do that, unfortunately, these days, and so you do have to stay guarded in a way, but I hope that that kinda answers that question.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Actually, I think the same. For me, relationships are everything, not only in this space, but in every aspect of life,
Yeah.
you know, um, and being authentic, being real. People won't take you seriously if they find out that you're faking it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that's very important. All right, Tevin. Look, before we wrap up, if someone wanted to reach out, connect with you, maybe collaborate or learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
I love that. So if you want to go ahead and reach out to me, I am so available. I am here for you. Let's go ahead and have a conversation. You can reach me on via my Facebook, which is just simply Tevin Millette, or you can go over to my website, which is tevinmillette.com. And that's TevanMillette.com, and you can go ahead and book a call through there. You can see the different kinds of services that I offer: coaching, speaking, collaborations. Love those. Those are fun. Just like while we're here, Leo, I love this kind of stuff. And if you're interested in any real estate aspect of things, I'm also very proficient with subject to acquisitions, hybrid creative financing models, owner finance deals, Airbnb arbitrage, lease options, you name it. If you want to talk residential, commercial, agricultural, industrial, I'm here for it. I love that stuff.
All right, all right. Well, perfect. Um, Tevin, I really appreciate your time, all right, your story and your perspective. We need more people in this space who are actually doing it the right way, like you do. All right. So thanks again for being here, my friend. And for those of you who are just tuning in, all right, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We got more conversations coming up with operators just like Tevin who are out there building real businesses. Until then, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.